X-Men the Animated Series figure review coming right up. Mr. Clicks Flick is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of the ROC. No matter if you're in the United States or around the world, Lucky Dice Cafe has the winning roll for all your gaming needs. You can visit them at luckydicecafe.com or on their Facebook page using the link found in the description of this video. Mr. Clicks Flicks is also brought to you by trollandtoad.com, one of the largest online gaming retailers. Use the promo code Mr. Clicks Flicks for 5% off your heroclix order today. Alright guys, so today we are taking a look at some X-Men the Animated Series figures. I got these figures via a bunch of different ways, mostly sealed pre-release and battle royales, and we haven't seen any of these figures yet, so pretty excited about that. If you guys are interested in the unboxings or something like that we've been doing, because there's going to be a bunch of them, make sure to check out the YouTube card now for one of the unboxings. That stuff's always really fun, and don't worry, once the set officially drops, there will be more unboxings to come, so keep an eye out for that. And make sure to hit that bell notification so that you're sure to see them when they do come out. If you see any of these figures that you really like, make sure to check out channel sponsor trollandtoad.com because they are having a pre-release sale on these figures. Certain figures in the last set ended up being sold out before the set even dropped. So would be a good way to secure something that's a very high want for you. Or if the set drops and you stop over at trollandtoad.com, make sure to use that promo code Mr. ClicksFlix for 5% off your HeroClix order. Much appreciated by them and myself, as it lets them know that it is worth sponsoring the channel. So here we are, we've got a bunch of really cool figures for you, some super awesome ones. These, I'm excited for quite a few of these actually. So the first things we'll do is we'll go ahead and we will take a look at the Colossals, similar to them we've done in the other videos. So these are what I got for pre-releases and battle royales and stuff like that, like I said. So the first one we're going to take a look at is Wendigo, and this one's one that has been talked about a lot by a lot of people. So let's go ahead and get focused on this card. There we go. Alright, he is number 18 in the set, G18. So he is a rare colossal figure. Animal, monster, and mystical keywords. All of those are fantastic keywords. I can't emphasize that enough. He has two traits, special on his movement and a special on his defense. His first trait is called Smell of Flesh. Sidestep, but only if a character has a wounded token. When an opposing character takes damage from an attack, give that character a wounded token. If it doesn't... if they don't have one, when a character heals, remove their wounded token. So those wounded tokens are actually integral to how this figure works, but it's a very cool. Once you'll see why here in a minute. The other trait is called Ancient Mystical Curse, Colossal Stamina, Steel Energy. When Wendigo uses Steel Energy, he may heal past his starting line. So this is one of those unique figures where they might start the game at a low point value, but then they can heal past their starting click all the way up. Some figures that jump out are Mangog from the Mighty Thor, the Giant Girls from the main set of Avengers Infinity, things of that nature, and they're very popular when they happen, so very cool that we have him for that. Then the special on his movement is called In the Mountains, No One Hears You Scream. Charge, Flurry, when Mangog. Oh man, I was just talking about him, so now it seems like that's all I'm going to talk about. When Wendigo ends his movement, after resolutions, he may make a close attack, but only to target a character with a wounded token. Alright, so basically what you're able to do is you're going to charge in there and flurry. You're going to attack again, and then if they're still alive, you're going to be able to attack a third time, because that is when you would be able to do that. And then if you wanted to, if there was another character that had a wounded token, you could sidestep and then attack again. So you hypothetically have a chance at 4 attacks with this guy, which is crazy. That's why I would say when you're flurrying with him, it behooves of you to select 2 separate targets, kind of charge him in there between 2 characters, and just do his thing that way. And then the special on his defense is a stop click invulnerability. If no opposing character has a wounded token, do not stop turning the dial due to stop. So pretty cool there. Nothing too much going on other than that. 300 points, 200 points, 100 points, and 15 points. To me, 15 points is where it's at, obviously, for competitive. He's non-unique, so you are able to run as many of these as you want, as long as points allow. He's only giant size, so be aware of that. He has exploit weakness to go along with that charge flurry, so he's going to be getting through those damage reducers. 100 points isn't bad, because he does have super strength, so you're able to hit, potentially for 6 damage. But, 15 points, it's a high risk, high reward, because, you're able to heal. And that's why, again, I would say charge and flurry and hit 2 separate characters. That way, if you KO one with a wounded token, you still have a wounded token left, so that if you get hit, you stop on your stop click, and then you charge flurry again on 2 separate characters. That would be how I'd play that. This is a must get. Get at least one of these. I would venture to say, if you're interested in playing competitive, any of those keywords, animal, monster, mystical, I'd try to get 2, possibly 3 of these guys. And it's going to be expensive, I'm not going to lie, but very good figure. Next up is the Colossus non-prime version, Colossal. So this is Eugene Torbit Witterspan. So this is G17A, Brute and Scientist. He has a trait where it doesn't count against theme teams, so that's really cool there. You can put him on any team, and he's going to be helpful. His special gives him Super Strength Quake. When he uses Quake and hits until your next turn, hit characters can't be given actions except moved actions. And that's really a powerful effect there. So I was looking at using this guy with Ghost from Black Panther and the Illuminati, where when she moves through characters, they can't be moved or placed. So if you tag team between those 2 characters, basically your opponent's not going to be able to move or attack, and you're basically introducing a no-play game state, which I know WizKids tries to avoid, but it's helpful to you as the player, if you're trying to play in that environment, to make that happen. He's got 25, 50, 120 points. I like him. Obviously, I like him at the 25 and at the 50-point line. Those are both pretty good. 100 points isn't bad. That buys you a lot of clicks of health. 200 points, I'd say, you don't really need what he's got going on for that one. But definitely a good figure that's worth having. And the fact that he doesn't break theme, like you could run, this Wendigo, a couple of these Wendigos, and a couple of these Eugene Talbots, and Torbit Witterspans, and you'd still be able to do whatever theme team you wanted, probably monster, with this Wendigo, and you wouldn't be breaking it. He wouldn't be adding to it, but he also wouldn't be breaking it. So I'd definitely try to hunt down 1 or 2 of these if possible, because he doesn't have willpower, top dial, or indom, or anything like that. So he is going to have to take turns off. He is only giant size, though, so pay attention to that. He's not colossal. And some people have been saying, I'll shoot it across the map, and you won't be able to get to me to do that. As some other players have shown, with good movement, you'll make it so that you're in figure placement. Your opponent might not be able to do that. So I definitely try to get 1 or 2 of these guys. Next one we're going to look at is Belladonna, and here we'll look at the Eugene figure real quick first. So it's basically the Colossus sculpt with a different head to it. Mine's got a little bit of paint coming off there, but still a really cool sculpt. I definitely like it. Feels like Juggernaut. I like this scaling that they did, where he's not quite as big as the Colossals, but he's way bigger than the regular figures, so I like how that is. So Belladonna, here's what she looks like. So pretty cool there. Again, I like the paint application. I know I just complained about Eugene, but paint application in this set's generally pretty good so far, so not too much to complain about that. Belladonna's pretty weak on keywords, Assassin and Spy. She's got mind control free. If no character has her wedding ring token, make a close attack targeting a character that Belladonna hit with mind control this turn. If you hit, instead of normal damage, give that character a wedding ring token. And then her other trait is the opposing character with her wedding ring token modifies defense -2 when targeted by mind control, and she may target that character regardless of range or line of fire. That's decent. She's 50 points. She has poison. Not my favorite character in the set, though. Actually, this is not that great of a figure. The mind control is cool. The -2 defense when she mind controls is cool. When targeted by mind control. So I think the opposing character with her wedding ring token modifies defense -2 when targeted by mind control, and she may use that. So I'm not sure. No, I think it's just mind control for her. I don't think it's mind control in general. So she's okay. I mean, for 50 points, she's not bad. If you're trying to play themey, I wish she had like combat reflexes almost instead of super senses, so that you'd be more apt to use that poison. That's probably my biggest gripe about that figure. Next up, moving along, is Frenzy, number 27. She's a rare, and this is what she looks like. Not my favorite sculpt in the set. I like the posing of it. Maybe it's just that I don't know the character. Maybe that's what it is. But anyway, she's a rare. She is, if I can get the card, number 27 in the set. Acolytes, Femazon, X-Men, and Soldier keywords. She has that Mutant Messiah trait that pretty much all the Acolytes have, where you choose somebody that can mastermind to her. Then she has, as a special leap climb, when she uses it, moves 5 or less squares. After resolution, she can make can use close combat expert at no cost. So that covers up a problem with her dial that we'll talk about here in a minute. And then the special on her damage is Battle Fury, close combat expert. So take a look at her dial there. She's 80 points, which is pretty expensive, but she has a pretty massive 19 defense up top with invuln, and then she gets a 19 defense halfway through. I kind of wish they would have given me a 40-point version where I could just use toughness instead of invuln. I'd probably play that. But anyway, she has that special where she can move 5 or less squares and use close combat expert to get that ridiculous 10 up to an 11 or a 12 for 80 points, which is a lot more respectable for 4 damage. She's not bad. She's just not my favorite. I feel like if it weren't for that close combat expert, I'd say this is a flat out terrible figure. But as it stands now, she's okay, not great. Next up, we have Senator Robert Kelly. He has the Sentinel and Politician keyword. So Sentinel, again, getting another arrow in its quiver. He has 2 traits and a special on his damage. His first trait is once per game, when Senator Robert Kelly is KO'd, do not remove him from the game. Instead, after resolutions, place him in a square he last occupied on click number 3, and he can't be healed this game. He is now friendly to your opponent's force and isn't scored again. So, again, one of those figures that can switch sides. Then his other trait is Perplex, but only to target opposing characters. Traded Perplex is always good, even if it is targeting opposing characters. Then the special on his damage is Leadership, and when he succeeds, he can bring in Friends of Humanity. If he's adjacent to 3 of those, that Friends of Humanity can end up being a Sentinel, and then you have to roll for him for their starting clicks. He's only 30 points, and I like him. For 30 points, you have Leadership for his entire dial, Perplex against your opponent for their entire dial. You got to give them to your opponent if they KO him, but just kind of let them hang out in the back. I think this is a solid 30-point figure, in my opinion, and he's bringing in characters to use. The Friends of Humanity guys, they're okay, not great, but if you, pay 5 points to just start with 3 of them, so that'd be 15 points, which would make him 45 points total if you wanted to look at it as a unit. To have 3 of those, just keep them adjacent and then start generating Sentinels is awesome. I like this guy a lot. Definitely my kind of figure. And here he is. He's just kind of, your kind of standard guy in a suit figure. Next up, we have Morph. This one looks cool. It's always hard for characters that are shape changing figures. It's kind of hard to like represent power in a skull, but this one looks pretty cool, and it's neat that they chose to have him be doing Wolverine. So he is number 29A in the set. So he has a Prime version, and he has X-Men and Spy keywords. X-Men's obviously a pretty good keyword. Has a trait and a special on his movement. His trait is Shape Change. When Morph uses and succeeds, you may choose the new target. You must choose another legal target if able. If the Shape Change roll was a 6, you may choose a character friendly to the attacking character. Target must be otherwise legal. So being able to make your opponent attack either a figure that you want them to attack on your force or an opposing figure, which is ideal, is pretty good. And then he has Plasticity, Sidestep, and Stealth. So he's 40 points, and he's a Perplexer and an Outwitter, and has the X-Men team ability, and they're basically, you're just counting on using Shape Change. He does have Blaze Claw's Fangs, so out of 40 points, you might be able to whack somebody for 6, and if you're able to do that one time in a game, basically he's earned his 40 points. So I like this guy a lot. I think he's solid enough. He's going to make it so that your opponent doesn't really want to deal with that, because even the idea of possibly hitting your own guy is going to make you want to try to avoid him. Next up, we have Jubilee, and I actually like this sculpt a lot more than I thought I would. I just like the little energy effect with the sparklies on it. I think they did a good job on the yellow jacket. Again, paint application in general for this set's pretty good. So here she is. She has the X-Men team ability. She's number 26 in the set. She's a rare. Again, this is a small set because each booster has a Colossal, so rares start in the 20s. She has a trait, which is once per game when Jubilee would be KO'd, and is adjacent to a friendly character with the X-Men keyword. Instead, put her on click number 4, Protected Pulse Wave. So, it gives her an extra chance. And then the special on her attack is Energy Explosion. When she uses it and hits, modify attack -2 until your next turn. And after resolution, deal 1 penetrating damage to all characters hit with the robot keyword. So that is really pretty powerful there. I could see some people trying to use her to get called in. With the Jubilee ID card, 4 range dual target means you're able to, if they are in 2 separate clusters, deal a ton of damage. X-Men team ability, 35 points is reasonable enough, 18 defense at range. Pretty solid little Jubilee. I mean, Jubilee's never been like a home run hitter, but this feels like it represents Jubilee adequately, especially for the 90s TV show. Next up is this Fantasia. I'll admit, I know nothing about this character. 32 points, Brotherhood of Mutants keyword. Has the My Mutant Brother and Sisters trait, which is the same on all these guys, where if they remove a token other than just clearing tokens, they heal click. And then when her other trait is when Fantasia hits one or more opposing characters with an attack, choose one to last until your next turn. Hit characters gain a mobile. Hit characters modify attack -1. Hit characters modify defense -1. If all hit characters have the armor or robot keyword, choose 2 instead. All those are good. And then on the movement special, sidestep stealth, when it's not your turn, and Fantasia has no action tokens, all clear lines of fire drawn to her are hindered instead. So that's just really good, considering that she has stealth, and she's just a really difficult figure to hit. She's not as good as Unseen, but it has that Unseen vibe about it, where she has shape change, she has super senses. She's got a lot of ways to hurt your opponent. She's got that dual target in cap. So basically, what you're doing is you're in capping. You're denying a lot of things from your opponent. You're in capping them, so you're giving them action tokens, and then you're making it so they're immobile, or you're making it so that they're -1 to attack or defense, or pick 2 of those if they're robot or armor. So Brotherhood of Mutants team ability. I can find better ways to use 60 points, but this is actually a fairly solid 60 points. And then after you get her off that first click, as long as you don't go below click 3, you have some way to roll out of defenses, and you have Outwit and Perplex her hold dial after that. So pretty decent little figure. And here she is. This is probably like my least favorite sculpt we're going to see today. No, there's one that I like. Well, yeah, this is probably my least favorite one. And it looks neat. I don't know. It's probably one of those I didn't know about the character. Kind of like Frenzy there, where it was like, I don't really know about this one, so I don't care too much about it. Next one we're going to look at is Avalanche. He's number 31 in the set. Always difficult to kind of display his powers, I've noticed. They have trouble with it, but this is a neat representation of him. He has the Brotherhood of Mutants and Freedom Force keywords. And then he has a trait special on his attack and damage. His trait is Mutant Brothers and Sisters. So if we remove a token other than clearing, heal him 1. And then special on his attack is Quake when Avalanche uses it. And if you when Avalanche uses it, you may choose that he has Giant Reach 4, or after resolution he can use Barrier at no cost. I mean, that's free barrier is good. Giant Reach 4 is also really good because there's definitely ways that you could sort of use that ranged Quake, especially if you gave them like something like the Thunderball's Ball and Chain to abuse that. So that's definitely cool there. And then the special on his damage is free. Destroy 1 piece of blocking terrain within range. So really, it takes care of barrier. It takes care of barrier for you, gives you free barrier. 50 points, has the Brotherhood of Mutants team ability, 4 range, single target, 8 movement with sidestep, 11 attack with that special, 17 defense with toughness, 3 damage. I think this guy's pretty solid. You know, he does a lot of cool things. He's only 50 points, high ability to damage opponents and make it so that they have to really rethink about their game plan. So cool there. Next up, we're going to look at Mr. Sinister. I'm sure a few of you have been eyeballing him in the background. Really cool figure there. And speaking of Mr. Sinister, this is going to be a stretch goal this month for patreon.com/MrClicksFlicks. This is the main way to support the channel. It costs as little as $1 a month. There's very cool stuff that's exclusive to over there. And then also as like an extra thank you, I do give away certain things over there. And then I have stretch goals. So there's already figures that I have selected that are going to be given away over there. And then this is a stretch goal if we hit our stretch goal monetary amount. And then next month, I'm going to open a brick of heroclix figures. And everything that I pull in that brick gets given away to the Patreon patrons. Again, stop at patreon.com/MrClicksFlicks. Every dollar truly helps the channel out. So thank you for considering that. So Mr. Sinister is number 43B in the set. He has the Marauders and Robot keywords and improved targeting, ignores, hindering. He has this Danger Room construct trait, which we already covered with the Magneto one, where for every one that you or an opponent rolls against him, he gets an error token. When you get to 3, he can actually be dealt more than 1 damage or deal more than 1 damage. And then his other trait is Lessons from the Danger Room, Mr. Sinister. If Mr. Sinister is KO'd by an opposing character for the rest of the game, that character has protected outwit. So, similar to the title characters, if he gets KO'd, something good is happening for your opponent. Special on his movement is Facing Teleport, Sidestep, Stealth. Special on his damage is Outwit and Shape Change. So he is 40 points here. Has a starts off with a 7 range single target, which is actually pretty long in today's game. 10 movement with that special, 10 attack with poison, 18 defense with energy shield deflection, 3 damage with that special. 40 points I used to think was not enough to really do too much with call-ins, but in this set they're really changing that up. So this is a decent call-in battery. I know he doesn't have any defense printed on him, but he does have that as long as he doesn't have 3 error tokens. He's taking a maximum of 1 damage, and then he also has a 20 defense at range. And he's packing out wit, and he ignores hindering terrain, so he's able to outwit opposing characters in hindering. And then by the time you get to click 3 and 4 and stuff like that, he's actually becomes a little more offensive, and you probably have 1 or 2 of your error tokens on them anyway, so that you're able to actually hit, and they're giving you invincible to deal with that too if you get there. This is a really solid fear that I would recommend everybody to get. And it's kind of having me a little worried that I might have to give this one away, but again, every little bit helps the channel, so definitely try to get one of these. And then also, like I said, if you're going to try to get one, also please consider my Patreon page at patreon.com/MrClicksFlicks. Next one we're going to look at is Sabretooth, and this is basically straight out of the cartoon. I love this outfit. Every time he's not in this outfit in any other media, I'm kind of upset. So I'm happy that they're doing that for this one. He's 23A in the set. He also has Danger Room Construct. I don't have that yet, or else we'd be looking at it. He has Brotherhood of Mutants keyword, Weapon X, Animal, Assassin, Brute, and Monster keywords. He has Improved Movement, ignores elevated and hindered terrain. He has a trait, Mutants, Brothers, and Sisters. So when he removes a token other than just clearing, heal him a click. Then his other trait is when Sabretooth takes damage from an opponent's attack after resolutions, roll a d6. 4 or 5, heal Sabretooth 1. 6, heal 2 clicks, or remove an action token from him. Both of those are good. And then special on his movement is Charge, Flurry, Stealth. All of those are fabulous. 75 points, has a 10 movement with that special, 12 attack, Blades, Claws, Fangs, 18 defense, Super Senses, Indom, 3 damage, Brotherhood's Mutants, Team Ability. This guy's, I mean, if you're looking for a close combat attacker, you're going to have a hard time finding somebody better than this. 12 attack is just silly. And then the Blades, you're possibly hitting for 6. There's not really too much. It's just a straightforward good figure. And the last thing we're going to look at is this Assassin's Guild person. It's a repaint of Belladonna. It looks neat. Just Belladonna is not my favorite sculpt. But again, paint application, there's like no runoff on this paint. So I don't know who they got to paint these sculpts in this set, but I think that little nick on Eugene is like the first thing I've seen wrong out of anything I pulled, and that could have happened with me bringing it home. So Assassin Guild's number 4 in the set. So this is an army builder thing. Assassin, a martial artist, and has a trait, which is Stealth. If Assassin's Guild is adjacent to hindering terrain and it's not your turn, lines of fire drawn to it are blocked. So that's pretty cool there. 15 points. Has an 8 movement with charge, 10 attack with Blades, Claws, Fangs, 16 defense with combat reflexes, 2 damage. I mean, if you're interested in trying to make an assassin or martial arts theme team, and you're looking for some filler, these guys actually aren't terrible, considering that they have stealth, and if they're adjacent to hindering, lines of fire is still blocked. And then, if they get in there and they do try to do the close attack stuff, they're dealing with an 18 defense for a 15-point figure, and then you have a chance at dealing 6 damage, even though, 10 attack, you're probably not hitting a ton of people. Still, I mean, you've got a good enough chance at it. So that is everything I have from pre-release so far. Again, make sure to check back once the set officially drops, because I will be doing a ton of unboxings, and there's also going to be a full set review, and of course there'll be a top 10 and stuff like that. So make sure to hit that bell notification so that you're sure to see those when they just come out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, give it a share, and also make sure to comment. Let me know what your favorite figure was from this set. All of that stuff lets YouTube know that this channel is worth it for other people to see, and it shares out more of the videos, so more interaction, the better. That's all I have for you guys today. As always, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.